Good morning, YouTube. Today I'm going to show you all about our Ferrari 458, which is for sale through our dealership, NG Supercars.
So are you recording all of the nefarious activities?
If you're new to the channel, my name is Dan, and we are at the Howard, and we obviously have lots of cool cars here, including this Ferrari 458, which is for sale through our dealership, NG Supercars. You can send us an email, sales@ngsupercars.com, if you're interested in buying it. So we're going to show you all the things wrong with it, all the things good about it, and I'm pretty sure it's going to sell pretty quick because, well, we priced it right. It's only $224,900, and it's got 16,000 something miles. It's a 2010. So a lot of you guys have already seen that we had this listed, and you said, hey, I want the video, the walkthrough, so we're doing that for you guys. So here is everything that we can find good and bad about this car. So what we do know is the previous owner is a viewer of the channel. He took good care of the car. The only reason he sold it is because, well, he has a speciality too. So, you know, it's kind of like, well, I don't need two 458s. What is wrong with it? Well, we know there is a little bit of clear coat flaking or whatever. I'm not sure if it just got bumped there. Something, little thing right there. There's actually a small scratch right here. This should be able to buff out. See that? Right there. You can see it's not very big, like slightly larger than my finger. The front of the car has some paint chips. There's a couple of them. I mean, it's just, let's see, right here, right there. There. See those paint chips? So this car was driven, which is good. Here's another one right there, right there. So definitely, if you wanted to be perfect, you need to get some touch-up paint, and I would do a paint correction, a PPF. This car would look perfect on the paint. All the wheels are perfect condition, and the tires are all pretty much new, so you don't need to worry about tires. Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's. You can see no other real flaws in the paint here. Everything else looks good. All of this, the wheels are good. Everything on the bumper, back of it looks perfect. Yeah, all of this is fine, nothing wrong with it. So there's a few other things wrong with it. Of course, you know, 458s, right? Not a whole lot to show you about what goes wrong with these cars. Interior is in really decent condition. There was a little bit of bolster wear, but we got that corrected. Headliner is sagging a tiny bit. See this? Yeah, you can sort of see it. We're gonna try and fix that. It did have sticky buttons. We took care of that. The dashboard has a tiny bit of leather pulling on the binnacle. Let me see if I can, well, it's kind of hard to show in video, so it's not super substantial, but if you look there and there, it's pulling a tiny bit. Front of the dash, again, kind of hard to show, especially with reflection, and you can't really see it from in here very easily. But anyway, the front of the dash is starting to pull up a tiny bit, but it's in pretty good shape. We got the carbon wheel with the shift lights, a couple other carbon pieces. Let's look into the engine bay. Again, just had an oil change, so it's all serviced, ready to go. The intakes, the tiniest bit of paint flaking right there. Tiny bit of paint flaking right in the valleys. That's where it always does it first. So it's probably fine for a couple more years, and then you'll probably eventually want to get repainted. That's 2010. That's what happens when they're old. That's kind of really about it that's wrong with this car. That's it. So effectively, it's just ready to drive. I mean, it just needs one of you to buy it and then go have a whole lot of fun with it.
All right, we're in a 458.
Are you sure?
I think so. It says it on the dash.
Oh.
I have not driven one of these hardly at all. This will be the first time I actually put some miles on one of these cars.
When you do auto and you have it like at a whatever temperature, that's when it does the pulsing.
It was doing it even on manual mode.
Yeah, sometimes it does it too.
Well, apparently the AC pulses in these cars.
It's weird. The AC in this car is like, it's like trying to be too smart. It's like, I got you. It's like, no, you don't.
I like the steering wheel turn signals on there. The buttons are on the steering wheel. That's kind of cool.
Once you get used to those, everything else is garbage.
Yeah. It's like the plaid Tesla.
Oh, yeah.
But if we put it in manual mode, it's got the factory exhaust on it. It sounds really good.
It's a 10, so it's got the burbles too.
Yeah, it's definitely. Oh, there's the pulsing AC.
Yep.
It's got a nice little pop and burble in the exhaust. The transmission is awesome. This definitely feels way more modern, like night and day compared to a 430 or a 360. My favorite thing so far is the steering wheel. I like the steering wheel. It's got all the shit on it and it's kind of cool looking. We got the shift lights and everything. I'm glad they still have an analog tach. The digital displays are kind of cool too. I like those. Oh yeah. Jesus.
You feel it getting a little bit sideways back there?
Yeah, a little bit. Oh man.
Sick. These cars never get old.
I can see why people love these cars. This is pretty sweet. That's a factory exhaust. I mean, that sounds pretty damn good. I like the way they did the dash. It's very modern looking compared to the older Ferraris. Very angular and just very well designed. Everything is kind of like, nothing looks out of place, even though it's kind of extreme, like the vents and stuff popping out. And they have cup holders. Thank you.
Wee little ones.
Hey, that works for a can.
Yeah, you can fit a can, a little tiny can of soda. That's
The
it.
seats are super comfortable.
Yeah, the Daytona seats are the shit on these things.
It's like getting a back massage. 9,000 RPM red line. Okay, here we go.
Jesus.
I'm sold. You know, everybody talks about these cars and how great they are and it's the best Ferrari ever made. I can see where they're coming from. I haven't even driven it that much. I would love to drive it on a track. I bet it's fun. The exhaust is surprisingly loud for just cruising on the highway.
Yeah. I think he's got the valves pinned open
Could be.
because it's not changing tone at all.
Yeah. It's very compliant. Like, the suspension is awesome.
Turn it to sport on the Valentino. Feel how much softer it gets. You're not bouncing as much.
Yeah.
Really makes a big
It actually
difference.
makes a difference. Most cars, you turn that switch and it don't even notice anything. And we have BMW bro flying by me wanting to race. Transmission is great. Not quite as quick as the McLaren, but very good. This thing is on rails.
Woo!
Oh man. The handling on this car is amazing. It's better than any car I've ever driven, I think. And the steering is very tight. There's no play at all in the steering. I think this car's almost too good though. Seriously, like, you get in the older Ferrari, I feel like it's kind of a chore to drive it. Whereas this thing, I think I could go on a road trip in this car and
You can.
it's no big deal.
Dude, I drove mine 5,000 mile road trips.
Yeah.
No problem.
I mean, this car, yeah, this is fine.
But it can do that, and then you can go to the track
Yeah.
or play and still do both really well.
I think in a perfect world, you have this, and then you have an older Ferrari too.
Yeah.
That maybe when you want to have sweaty palms and
Be exhausted.
yeah, be exhausted, but have a good experience, you jump in the old car, and if you just want to go have fun and not worry about the car at all, you jump in this thing. God, I have like 50 text messages.
Welcome to my world.
Even over bumps and stuff in the parking lot, it's not uncomfortable like a 360 is. It's like jarring you around. Well, we'll let Dan drive it now, and then since he hasn't driven a 458 in a while, he can give you a refreshed opinion about this one.
Hey YouTube, we're back in the 458. I'm gonna drive it. I haven't driven one of these in a little while. I'm going to be squinting because I don't have my sunglasses, and it's hot and bright because we're in Texas. Sorry about the loud AC.
We gotta have it on, it's 100 and something outside.
Ugh, bumps. Shitty construction. Ugh, there we go. God. Love the 458s. To me, this is like the most emotions evoking Ferrari that I've driven. Like, for just pure fun and ridiculousness. It's just so easy to drive it hard, which is good and bad. You could definitely get in trouble with these cars. I love the way they handle. I love the way they shift. I love the way the power comes on. It's all just super linear and smooth and predictable.
It is very, very smooth and predictable. That's a good way to put it. It's
Yeah.
just like, you know exactly what you're going to get. There's none of this like power coming on at a certain RPM or whatever. It's just super smooth. All
Yep.
the way to redline.
Yeah, it's why part of why I think they're so easy to drive hard is you can feel the limits as they're approaching. Yeah. I just felt like being a dick to that Audi guy. Whoa! Mazda guy went.
Mazda's like, I got one on
The
you.
Mazda guy is like, fuck you both. I've said it so many times now. This to me is the best Ferrari ever made. It just, they don't get better. There's faster Ferraris, there's more beautiful Ferraris, but for a driver, this is it. Like, this is the shit right here. And honestly, it's got, what is it, 560 horsepower? I think that's pretty much sufficient for most everyone, certainly on the street. Because you start getting to like the 600-700 horsepower cars, and you're, as a human being, not really able to drive those cars very well. You kind of need the computers. So unless you're like literally tracking your car all the time, this is more than enough power on the street. And people, it's funny, like we get people, so you know, this car is obviously for sale through our website, so email us sales@ngsupercars.com if you want it. But it's funny because we get emails and people are like, oh, trade in this whatever car, this car's faster than your Ferrari, and we're like, doesn't matter.
Yeah, somebody emailed us and asked if we wanted their electric Hummer on trade.
We're like, no, we
said,
don't.
Yeah, no, we're good.
And he's like, but it's faster than your Ferrari. We're like, yeah, we don't care. Like, no one's walking around going, that's a sweet ass Hummer. Like, I totally want to, I strive my goals in life to have an electric Hummer. When I was a child, I grew up dreaming about that electric Hummer. Like, no, said no one ever. Stupid. This, people, like, I literally, as an adult, drove this car for the first time. When this car came out, I drove it, and I said, I have to have one. That is my goal now. I want one of these in life. It's just amazing. Amazing car. So good. Braking's amazing. Handling, steering, shitty stereo. And it's not that it's bad, it's just the controls are so bad. But everything else, amazing. Can't go wrong with the 458. There's a reason why everyone wants these cars and why the values of these cars have skyrocketed lately. It's because no one wants to sell them. Like, if you look, these cars have a supply problem. The demand is exceeding the supply, which is causing the prices of these cars to stay where they are and keep going up. So in this car, as we're kind of showing you, we cleaned up the sticky buttons. We're going to take care of the headliner. That's it. I mean, it's got brand new tires, serviced recently, so don't need to change the oil for a year. Don't need to do anything for a year. Like, you get this car and you just go drive it. If you want it to look perfect, send it to a detail shop, have them do a paint correction, throw in a PPF, and you're ready to rock and roll for a long time. It's all you need for this car. And it's just going to continue to hold its value. Rosa Corsa tan, can't go wrong with that. Everyone wants the red Ferrari with tan interior. Speaking of the interiors, really good shape. The seats are good. Josh had the seats all cleaned up. They look so much better. Little bit of pulling on the binnacle leather, but that's an easy fix that we're not going to fix that because it's not bad yet. It's one of those that you probably want to wait a little bit and eventually take care of it. By the way, it's actually got a UV tint on the front windshield. Oh, I love the sound of these cars. So it's 2010, so it's got the pops and bangs.
They got rid of that in 2011?
12. Halfway through 12.
Why is that?
EPA restrictions or
whatever.
like supposedly to help it get better fuel economy. They did a different tune on them and they got rid of it. That's what you want.
That sounds badass.
I know. That it's just such a good car. Plus you've got 9,000 RPMs to work with. Look at that. I'm only at 6. We still have 3,000 to go.
After having this for a few days and driving it, I definitely want one now.
All right?
Yeah.
They ruin you. This car, I've said this so many times, like had other people be interested in 430s or whatever, and like, should I consider a 458? I'm like, yeah, but if you drive one, you're ruined. Like, seriously, as soon as you drive one of these, you're like, oh shit, now I can't take it, I gotta have it. Is the 458 worth the increase in cost over a 430? 100%. No question it is. It is absolutely worth it. It is so much better of a car. Do an exhaust on these and make them scream like a proper F1 car if you want. You can keep it kind of mellow like it is.
If you're not smiling when you're getting after it with this car, there's something wrong with you.
Right? Seriously, like this is a miles per gallon car.
It's not like a McLaren where instead of smiling, you're like shitting your pants.
Right? So you saw us driving around having a good time. Seriously, these cars are amazing. One of you's going to want to buy it. So send us an email, sales@ngsupercars.com. $224,900. We're not going to negotiate a whole lot on it because honestly, it's priced really, that's pretty fair. Hit us up if you want to do a trade-in. Let us know what you got. Send us the VIN, pictures, miles, all that stuff. We might be able to work something out. That's going to do it, you guys. We got a lot of cool car stuff coming your way, so you're going to want to stay tuned. It's going to be sweet.